Hello, hello, Ederson Oliveira here for DNNHero.com. I have with me Scott. Scott, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. How about you?
Very good, very good. Pretty good. Okay, I don't have a huge agenda today, but let's see. Let's have a look at the topics here. So first one is that I just want to straight things out in terms of the naming and versioning that DNN will be using from now on. Basically, let me see if I understand this right, Scott. Basically, what was supposed to be 7.5 became 8. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
Got it. Okay. And I'm assuming that then 7.4 dot I don't know, whatever it is right now will be the last one in the seven line, I guess.
Probably. If eight is going to be coming out in May or June, I think they're trying to target around the DNN Connect time for that final release. Actually, it's in CTP1 still. So, but that's going to be 8, which was 7.5. They decided that I guess it warranted a major release because they're going to be doing well the MVC support, and I think they're with that is a lot of changes, getting rid of Telerik and those type of things. They thought it warranted a major release, and even though we've been talking that the 8.0 would probably be the pure MVC release later on at the end of this year or next year, there's still no official number for that. So that could be 10. I mean, that could be 9. We don't know. So yeah, 8.0 is going to be the platform version that supports MVC.
Got it. Got it. And actually, I think that I've heard either from a blog post that Joe shooted out just a few weeks ago, but I think it will be the eighth one will be the I'll say the full release will be summer like, you know. I mean, it does seem to be that soon, but okay. So that's clear. So again, 8 will be the hybrid. I would say will be the one that will go together. You know, web forms and MVC. Now, I want to point out a few things that I found very interesting about the coming 8 release. One is what they are calling the dynamic content creator. Actually, in here I have here a post again from Joe in front of me. You can see more details here. But actually, this is quite interesting because this is supposed to be I would say partially a new module, partially part of an API that you can do things like what Too Sexy Content does quite a lot, which is to structure data and not just leave HTML open there. So again, you can structure data like the title, the image, the video. You can have, you know, structured data to format your page better. So that's what they are bringing on DNN 8 with what they're calling dynamic content creator. I mean, I think that's very interesting, you know.
Yeah, I think one of the questions asked to Joe during the MVP chat about that was this based on the form and list module? And he said no. There was some influences from Too Sexy Content and form and list, but it was truly a ground up, you know, brand new, you know, concept.
Got it. And they are tying this together as well with the content items that they have been using more and more, you know, over the years. So I think this is a good move. You know, I have worked in the past a little bit with Drupal, and Drupal has that kind of a concept as well. You know, built into the main platform, not as an add-on. So again, I think that's a good move for the DNN platform. You know.
Yeah, and also the introduction of the SPA module as part of the module creator that we've done videos on. The SPA module is basically just an HTML module, which we have now. You know, when you do the quick builder, quick module builder, and you just pick HTML, and yeah, you could put Knockout or Angular code in there and do some things, but what they're adding on is some simple constructs within the HTML that allow you to get at basically make service data calls without all the different, you know, ceremony of the AJAX and the, you know, request stuff. So yeah, that's going to be coming as well.
Got it. And for those who don't know what SPA is, what it is, Scott.
It stands for single page application, but a lot of times it refers to a kind of a JavaScript MVC type thing. But it basically allows you to completely within JavaScript to change the view, which could be on other HTML pages, all purely within JavaScript. So it looks like a multi-page application really written in a single page, I guess you would say.
Got it. Okay. Okay, so another point on the DNN, what is a promise on the DNN 8 release is the workflow manager. So on 7, there is a workflow API, but then on 8, there should be now a workflow manager, which I assume this is the UI interface to manage a workflow. Is that right?
Well, it already exists in Evoke 8. Because I was confused about that because I'm like, yeah, I'm familiar with the workflow manager. It's a professional feature in Evoke 8. And basically what it allows you to do is, you know how you have those workflows like direct publish, save draft, and content editor or something like that. And I explain it in my last tutorial on workflow, using the workflow API. So that's built into the core. What they did was they have a UI in Evoke that allows you to set up, like, for example, you could look at the steps, the content, like, for example, the content editor workflow, what the workflow steps are. But now you can also edit what roles get notified during this step. So you can more customize it toward your roles. So if, for example, what was one of the steps? In the save for review or publish for review step, you can say these particular roles get that email so that they get that thing that says it's ready for review, rather than right now it's just the administrators, that's it. So yeah, that's really all it does. It's not I don't know if they may have extended to allow you to build new workflow processes too, but we'll have to check it out. I'm not sure.
Okay, but again, those were from Joe's post. Those were the two, I would say, from a user experience point of view. Those were the two big points that I got out of that post. Just want to step back here for a second, and again, this post that Joe pushed forward, he talks about how hard it is, to name things, and that's in the conflict of 7.5 and 8. But let me tell you something that I think, Scott, is a bit screwed up. I'm working with some Evoke clients, and this point you have brought that before. I want to highlight, I want to stress that. Okay, I have a snapshot here of what does it say in the Evoke host settings interface about the version. The version is getting, let me show this.
Yeah.
Let me shut up and show. You see, on this Evoke client, we have version 2. So what the hell is that? How do we translate that version to DNN? You know what I had to do? I said, you know what?
You query the versions table, right?
Well, that's one. That's actually, that's a smart way.
The platform version, yeah.
That's a smart way, because what I did is I grabbed the .NET DLL and I checked the version there.
Yeah, which would be the platform version, which matches with what's in the table. It's goofy. Well, the Evoke 2 is an old version, and remember earlier this year they made the jump from Evoke 2.1 or something. That was the last version of that, which was based on platform 7.2 or something, and they jumped it all the way to Evoke 8. You remember that? And we were trying to figure out why. And the reason is because they're trying to move in line with the other open source / corporate run projects where the professional version, the paid version, is in front of the platform version. So you have 8 for the Evoke. So in other words, you're giving your paid subscribers the more premium, or the first look at the new features, and then the platform will follow. It kind of makes sense, like when we talk about that workflow manager. The workflow manager was in the Evoke product since when late February, when that came out, and now they're finally bubbling it down to the platform. So I think that's what they're doing now. But then I'm not sure about this new platform 8. Are they going to go to Evoke 8.1 and that follows the platform 8? Because there is no MVC support right now in Evoke 8. It has to be a platform feature first anyway. So yeah, it is confusing, and I think it's still going to be confusing going forward.
Yeah, I mean, again, they should definitely put some thought here as to, it's not a major deal, but again, even people like us, I mean, we will get confused as well, that,
Yeah,
and
it is.
usually we know what we're doing there, but again, this just puts an extra level of I don't know, of confusion, of complexity. I mean, if that's really the case, that they have a version for the platform and a version for Evoke, then, and again, I'm gonna bring the screen that I have here in front of me, then bring this clear in the version, I mean, maybe put something like Evoke Suite 2.0 / DNN platform, whatever it is, whatever the core platform is. I don't know if that's the solution, but again, something, someone should put some thought on this, so it does become messier than what it is right now, because to be honest, I mean, I think that's already messy,
Or how about this, Adderson? How about just DNN 8 and then the product type, platform, professional, whatever. I mean, the whole Evoke naming, I think, kind of started this whole confusion, right? But because back in the day when it was just DNN Professional and DNN Enterprise or whatever, I mean, even then they had a lot of different names. It still made sense, right? I mean, these names aren't sexy, but it made sense. So, I don't know.
Very true, Scott. They were straightforward. You can understand the community, you can understand the enterprise, and
Professional and enterprise, right?
Professional enterprise. You can understand that easily,
Yeah. What's the difference between Evoke Engage and Evoke? What is it now? Content and Evoke Content Lite or whatever, or Evoke Content Basic. So yeah, I agree. I don't know what. Yeah, it's marketing terms, and it doesn't make sense to the developers.
At the very least, if they really want to stick to this mess, they should have a page on the DNN website that says, hey, this is Evoke version, and this is the version of the platform. I mean, something like that, something to make our lives easier,
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, I don't like complaining, but again, I just had to say something about this, Okay, let's keep moving forward here. So, enough a little bit about the DNN. I have something here to mention. I have to give my kudos to Tony Valente from manage.com/PowerDNN. And this is kind of an old news already, but I just came across their post on their own website. I have it open here in front of me, which is it talks about the acquisition of manage.com by a company called SY Holdings. Again, kudos to Tony Valente that he got, in a way, what I would assume is an exit for his business there. He seems to be still the president, according to that article. But again, kudos. It's great to see someone in the ecosystem, being able to get acquired. I mean, it must be a nice experience. I mean, there are some members of the ecosystem that were acquired by DNN Corp in the past. I mean, we have Active Modules. We had Bruce Chapman with the Infinity. And again, we have some members of the community getting hired by the corporate, which is a different setup. But I mean, again, just want to say, Tony, congratulations, and again, all the best. I mean, that's all I have to say here. Did you know about that?
I thought I saw that like on his LinkedIn profile. He doesn't say he's with Manage.com. I thought I noticed that, but he is still working with it. It's just they got acquired. So
Yeah, it seems.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
guess I didn't realize that.
he seems to be still the president according to that article. Anyway, enough of that. Actually, I want to, I guess, to go back a little bit to what you mentioned about spa type of development, and I came across this nice post from Bruce Chapman on the DNN store, not on the store, sorry, on the DNN community blog, which is building spa DNN modules using Razor and Web API. I would say that I don't know if you came across that, Scott, but it seems to be very in sync with what you have been teaching on your tutorials.
I'll have to read that. I guess I missed it. The last one I remember reading it was he's talking about the ASP.NET, the K thing, the
Got
K.
it? Yeah. Actually, this post is just 2 days old, so I mean, I don't blame you for missing that out. It's very, very recent, very, very new. He goes into extreme details here. I mean, it's a long post, so I have it in front of me. Again, all those links will be available in the video post. But again, nice post from Bruce. And again, if you are into DNN module development, if you are following Scott's videos, I mean, this is a great addition to Scott's videos as well. Okay, another post that I came across, which is worth mentioning, is from the funny Clint Patterson. He went to this conference about open source platform. Let me see the name, called POSCOM, which is not.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, and again, very nice written posts from him. I just have it open here in front of me. He says that this is not a possum conference. Okay, that's a great call.
Or for point of sale systems.
Yeah, that's a great call, because I got confused when I saw the title, but that's okay. I mean, that's good that Clint was able to straighten that out right away. So again, a good post if you are interested to see what other people are talking about in terms of the open source platforms. I mean, unfortunately, as according to him, there was not much of a presence of a .NET, of a Microsoft. There was no Microsoft presence there. It was basically all pretty much
Java,
PHP based.
PHP,
yeah, that whole stack.
Probably Ruby.
I think so, yeah. But a good post to check it out, and he entices people for the next year. Maybe that DNN should apply for some sessions, should apply to be part of the event as well.
Well, with the new, like we talked about last time, with this new ASP vNext, the Microsoft being open source, being the core CLR being able to run on multiple platforms, I think next year would be a really good time to start talking about that, because I think the whole Microsoft, the .NET platform will be, I think, in the spotlight when other open source people start seeing that it runs on multi-platform and it is open source. So yeah, I believe next year is going to be a good year for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see how things will evolve with this new openness of Microsoft, because again, I cannot blame a conference like that doesn't have .NET, because again, historically,
yeah, right,
historically,
it's closed source.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So again, we cannot blame them too much, but hopefully .NET, presence in general, and hopefully DNN as well, will be part of those kinds of conference in the future as well. Another interesting post that I came across in the last few days was from Daniel Mettler. I mean, he is I would say a prolific writer, but this one in particular is more of a summary or an outline of the recent post that he made. So it's a good summary there. It's all about, let me see here. Yeah, it's all about responsiveness and mobile web solutions. So you should definitely check it out. It has a recap of of about 6 videos, 6 posts that he had published with a little description. So again, it's a good reference point to have. I found particularly interesting the last one, which talks about simple solutions for retina and high resolution images. Very, very interesting one. Just yesterday, I've recorded an interview with Tracy Whitkeller. Tracy is one of the top-notch theme developers out there. And again, it was a good conversation, a good interview with him. It should be published on the DNN store blog in the next few days, next week, most likely. And I'm talking about the last week of April. So again, very, very good interview, talking about trends, talking about how he gets, himself up to date, and again, what types of, what he recommends to get, design inspirations. So it was a great one because it was the first theme vendor that I have interviewed. So it was quite a nice one. Okay. I assume that will be the last time that I will announce the DNN.com. That will be not the DNN.com, sorry. DNN Connect. So DNN Connect will be happening in a month, exactly in a month. And Scott will be talking about what there, Scott?
Well, I know I'll be talking about my workflow. I'm basically going to present my workflow tutorial very similar to what I did for DNN Hero as a session in a session format for DNN Connect. I'm also going to try. This is one of the first times I ever submitted a session topic that I don't exactly know how I'm going to do it yet. So I'm a little worried about this one, but I'm going to try to do one on MVC development, and it's going to be called Next Generation Module Development Stack, and it's going to be basically taking what we did in Angular. Pretty much I'll take what the tutorial that I did in Angular, and then I will make that an MVC module. And the part that I'm not clear about is how to do the MVC. So I'm anxiously awaiting that CTP2 and some more, maybe another blog post from Charles Nurse to how to do it. But otherwise, I'll just figure it out. And that's what I've done on a lot of things whenever doing a video. That's why it takes time to do these, because there's not documentation and tutorials for me to look. I'm the one who has to figure it out and make the tutorial. So that's going to be really cool. And when that's done, hopefully that'll be my May offering on DNN Hero. So a lot cheaper way to get that type of training than flying out to France would be to subscribe to DNN Hero, of course. So that's what's coming up.
And on that point, for those that are going to the event that will be there in France, I strongly recommend that you go to Scott's session, because whoever will go to that session will have 1 month free on dnnhero.com.
Yeah.
So
One
again,
month
you
free
can
subscription.
Yeah, exactly. 1 month free, so you can download the material that Scott will be making available, that you can check out the other videos, and hey, maybe if you found value on what we are talking about there on DNN Hero, or here on DNN Hero, you may want to subscribe. But again, if you're going to Scott's session, he will pick up your name, email address, and you're gonna get a free 1 month account on dnnhero.com. Okay, something interesting that I came to realize after the last hangout. The last hangout that Will and Joe put together, they were talking with the founders of with the management team.
Peter and
Exactly. I didn't realize that they are actually a real non-profit organization there. That's not just, a website that they put up there,
Right. They're actually an actual. I can't remember. It's the equivalent of a. Well, I'm not. But they're an organized nonprofit. I think it's organized in Switzerland.
It is.
And it's a real organization. Yep.
Yeah. So I found that to to be quite
Which is
interesting.
why they have a treasurer and, you know, and officers, and it's a formal thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen that outside of, I mean, outside of the DNN Corp, you know, I mean, another entity, a community, a real legal community entity being built, you know, in the ecosystem. You know, I think that's the first. So again, great initiative to those three guys. I can name Vincenza and
Peter
Peter, and
Donker.
there's a third one which I don't
Oh, I
recall
can't
it now.
remember.
So he will
Yes.
have to forgive me for that.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
I can pick that. We can pick that quite quickly on their website. So yeah. So I want to let me see here. Okay, before we go to the tips of the month, Scott has some tips. I have some tips as well. Just want to quickly mention that last time that I've recorded, we were working on a very interesting upgrade project on Desktop. This upgrade project is becoming more and more complex, and out of that, I have a recommendation to anybody that creates modules out there. There's, just to give you guys an idea, there is one particular module that calls a stored procedure, the same one with the same parameters, 300 times on this website. So again, I mean, huge performance impact on that third-party module. I'm not gonna name the third-party module because I think that the vendor, we contact the vendor and he should be doing a better job in the near future. But bottom line is that one of the main performance problems of this website is this third-party module, which makes 300 calls whenever the homepage gets loaded, calling the same thing over and over and over again. So again, if you are a module developer, be very careful, be very mindful of those types of decisions that you make, because again, for obvious reasons, you know, in this particular case, the time for the first byte to come up has been about 20 to 30 seconds just because of that. So again, just a quick recommendation, suggestion, be mindful about what you're calling, how you're calling, best practices. And again, for best practices, we have a lot of videos that Scott goes through covering best practices, you know. But that's my spiel from a desktop point of view. Now let's go to the tips of the month here. Scott, do you want to start with yours?
Yeah, I have one. It's not a DNN thing. It's just a productivity utility, I guess it is. It's called Spadonik Fences, and I got turned on to it by a colleague of mine, James McKee, and I think it's also one of those tools that is talked about a lot within Windows developers. And basically what it allows you to do is organize your icons on your desktop. And I don't know if we can, probably don't have time to switch screens and I could show you, but I could probably send you a screenshot and we'll add it to our thing. It allows you to create these, what they call fences. They're little boxes of icons, and you can see it on their website in the demo. And it allows you to organize all your utilities so that you can say, well, here are my development tools, here are my audio video tools, here are my browsers, here are my certain files, which is really nice. And especially if you have a multi-monitor layout where you have maybe your laptop or a smaller screen in that, where you can just put this fences on there so you can quickly access your utilities without having to do the, you know, what I've gotten used to is the Windows key, search, you know, bring it up. The other thing that's cool about it is allows you to not only define icon, you know, fences, but it allows you to create automatic folder fences. So you can select a folder, it adds it as a fence or a little area with all the files inside of it, and allows you to filter by certain things. So you can create a folder on your desktop that's referencing a folder somewhere in your file system that has, like, say, you can filter it by just images. So you can throw anything in that folder, but what the fence on the desktop will show are just those images that you want, or whatever, videos or other things. And then the really cool feature is it has this Android-like feature where you could drag your mouse and swipe it, and your whole desktop switches, and you can have another set of fences there. So what I do with that is, on my main desktop, I have my icon sets organized, and I could swipe over, and I have my website folders, and other kind of file system folders. So it's a really cool productivity tool for just being, letting you quickly access your programs and files in a really cool and organized way, and especially on a multi-monitor setup, it really can provide a lot of help there.
I love that. I love that, and that's exactly the kind of tips that we are talking about here. Again, it can be within the DNN space. It can be outside. It can be about productivity. It can be about marketing. Again, I have lots of tips that I want to push forwards as time goes by, and most of them are not necessarily DNN related, but I love this one, and I will be using that one.
Yeah, check it out. By the way, it is a paid product. There's a 30-day trial. The full product is only $9.99. It's $10. So I went ahead and bought it because it was, it's worth it.
Perfect. Okay, so my tip or tips of the month, it's about themes. I came across this blog post from Beth on the DNN store, which she's talking about the top modules and themes of 2015 Q1. And again, there's a small list here. I had a look at this list, and two themes really caught my attention. I'm gonna flip to them right now. So one is Salar Responsive Solution, which is free, completely free, and looks quite nice. I have the page here on the DNN store open, and I have their demo as well. Looks very nice. Again, it's kind of a greenish, but I tend to think that you can easily replace that color with another color that is more suitable to your brand, your website. So it seems to be a very good one. I mean, again, you can see some template content on the demo site, differently from the other, I would say, from the other free themes out there, which are very, very, very basic. There's no content really. Here you can find some content, you can see different pages. Again, very, very good for that price point, $0. Now, the next one is not free, but it's damn cheap. So it's just $10. It's called Acumen Business Parallax Skin. Again, they're still using the skin terminology here, but again, this is a theme. So again, just $10, looks quite nice as well. Here's the demo. So again, my tips of the month here will be those two skins. One very cheap, $10. The other one free. Cannot get better than that one. Okay, those were my tips. Okay, so Scott, anything else from yours? Oh, by the way, our next recording, just so everybody knows, and Scott, you know as well, we should do the following weekend once you return back from France.
Okay, so we're going to skip May.
Because...
Probably, yeah. So it'll be first week in June.
It will be the first, exactly. Because then we can do a recap of the event. It can be I would say it can be juicier for us, for the audience as well,
Yeah, sure.
So make sure that you have your notebook there, make some notes so you can bring some news to us, okay?
Yeah, will do.
Perfect. Okay, so have a good conference there, Scott. Enjoy, have some fun, and bring some news here.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully I'll see everybody at the conference, and until then, we'll see you next time we chat.
Bye now.
Bye.